Welcome once again, my friends, and thank you for stopping by to listen to an old storyteller. Today we have three stories from Tibet, and the title of the first story is The Story of the Three Hunters. Be the work good or bad, we cannot tell what may be said of it, nor how far its results may spread. Tibetan proverb. Once upon a time, when the world was young and men loved and hated as they do now, in a mountain village there lived three brothers, and they were hunters. Each of the brothers had married a wife, and they had one sister who lived with them all. One day they went out to hunt and brought in a deer. When they had all the meat they wanted to eat, they gave a leg bone to the sister, who cracked it, took out the marrow, and toasted it so that it looked very good. As she sat eating this delicacy, the wives of the two elder brothers became very angry. Just why it would be difficult to say. They were so angry that they decided they would plan some way to kill the sister. They said, "The brothers think so much of her that they won't consider us at all. So we must get her out of the way." Again the brothers all went out for a hunt, and the women decided now was the time. The wife of the younger brother would have nothing to do with it and told them it was the wrong thing to do, because the sister had had only her share of the meat. But the wives of the two older brothers decided to kill her anyway. When the brothers were coming home, they stopped on the way to rest, and a little bird in a tree kept singing and singing the same tune over and over. Finally, one of them said, "The bird seems to want to say something to us. I'm going to see if it does, for it sounds like my sister." He went up to the tree where the little bird sat and said, "If you are my sister, hop up on my hand." The little bird hopped on his hand, and they all began to cry, because they knew their sister was dead. They went on home and found the three wives, but the sister was gone. They said nothing about her being away, but later they found the younger wife crying, and she wouldn't tell why. They told her they knew why, as they had seen the sister, and her soul had gone into a bird. So the young wife told them the story, and they were so angry that they killed the two big wives and had the third in partnership. The title of the second story is The Hunter and the Unicorn. An old llama without religion and a heart without happiness hurt very much. Tibetan proverb. Once, long ago, when men's hearts were evil and they forgot to be grateful for kindness, a hunter was walking along the road and fell over a cliff, almost killing himself. As he wondered how he could get to the road again, a unicorn came along, stopped and looked over at him. The man began to beg and plead, saying, "You are such a nice unicorn. I have never harmed any animal except when I was hunting and hungry, and I never would hurt you." He begged and coaxed until the unicorn came down and helped him up on the road again. When he was safely out, he said, "Now I know the road out of here, so I have no more use for you." He grabbed his gun and shot the unicorn dead. Sure enough, it was a bad road, and he wandered around and around, but could find no end, no way out, and wished he had asked the unicorn the right road before he had killed him. Finally, growing tired and weak and hungry, and no one coming to help him, he fell down the cliff again and died. Moral: don't be sure you know more than you do. And the title of the third story is The Two Thieves. In the presence of a kind man, you are uncomfortable. In the presence of bad food, there is an odor. Tibetan proverb. There was once upon a time two thieves, one named Lozong, the other Adra. They went out one day, and slipping down the mountain, stole one of a herd of cattle that belonged to a rich man. They drove this cow into a ravine and killed it where nobody could see them. They were afraid to leave the beef and go and wash the stomach and intestines, as each was afraid the other would run away with it. Adra wanted to stay with the big beef, so finally, after much persuasion, Lozong took the intestines down to wash them, and both were afraid the rich man would discover what they had done. As Lazong washed and cleaned the intestines, he wondered how he could cheat Adra out of his part of the beef. Adra sat and schemed how he could cheat Lazong out of his part. But Lazong had the best plan. He took the stomach and blew it up as big and tight as he could, got him a club, and began to beat it as if it were a big drum, all the time yelling. When Adra heard him, he was very much frightened and said, "They have caught him now and are giving him a good beating. They would have gotten me if I had gone down there to wash those things, so I will run away as fast as I can, and they will think that he was the only man that did the stealing." So he ran away as fast as he could, and when Lazong got back he kept all the beef himself and laughed to think how easily he had won it from the other thief. Thank you once again for listening to this story. If you enjoyed this story, please press that like button. Also, please help an old storyteller out by subscribing to my channel. The next story will be posted in a few days, so until then, may your story continue to be a good one.